Welcome to Wednesday's edition of What Did I Miss? We are we are almost there, ladies and gentlemen. Can you feel it? It is almost finally the big college playoff time. No offense to everyone else, but joining us today is guru of all things college football, Ari Wasserman, who is the star, I'm going to say star because I can, of...
I mean, if you want to tell the truth, yeah.
But like not one, not two, not three, no, 5 podcasts for The Athletic. I don't know how you do that. A lot of them were under Andy Staples. Is the Andy Staples stable? Because it should be if it's not.
It's Andy Staples' show is the main show. And then there's other shows that are within the show. Like Nicole Auerbach has a show. There's a SEC show with Dave Ubben. Like there's a lot of different shows within the feed so that anybody who listens to the Andy Staples show will get the other great shows too. And then I co-host an Ohio State podcast because I spent a large portion of my career covering the Ohio State beat. We do a gambling podcast, a Big Ten podcast. It's like I'm surprised I still have a voice, but I appreciate you having me on. It means a lot. And
it's a nice, smooth voice. Well done. I'm surprised you have one too. Yeah. No, we're having you on because we want this to be sort of the succinct version of everything you need to know as we head into these big games for the people who may not be experts, people like myself, and also people who may want to try to bet all of their savings. We want to make sure that we know what the heck we're doing before we walk into that. So before we get to it, we've got the 2 big games, Michigan, Georgia, Alabama, Cincinnati. I know who I'd like to see win. I won't get to that yet, but give us a couple sentences on each game. Maybe that's not surprising. Maybe that is surprising on what we can expect.
Okay. Brevity is not my strong suit, but I'll try.
Perfect.
First of all, I have this take, and I'm going to write a column at the game if it goes this way. But I think that college football fans crave parity until they get it, and then once they get it, they don't want it anymore. And it's just like, and I don't know if I'm speaking for everybody. I'll probably get a lot of hateful messages from people in the Cincinnati and Michigan courts, but I think America would rather watch Alabama play Clemson at its height rather than who they're playing this weekend. Now, the good news is that most of the time, the semifinal is a blowout anyway.
Yep.
Which is a nice preview of what the expanded playoff is going to look like when even the 4th best team can't compete with the first one. But the spread's 14 points in the Cincinnati-Alabama game. Alabama is infinitely more talented than the Bearcats. They played a much harder schedule, and the American dream is that Cincinnati will go in and beat Alabama, and it'll be like, look, you left the group of 5 out for the past 10 years, 7 years to be exact, when it came to the playoff, and look how wrong that was. How many times were group of 5 teams left out that could have won a national championship, but we were too arrogant to let them in? And I actually feel bad for Cincinnati because they have to bear the brunt of that. If they don't Oklahoma gets blown out in the semifinal, they don't have the same responsibility.
Right.
Cincinnati might get blown out, but then they're going to be like the team that either proves the group of 5 has been disrespected or is the aha moment where everybody goes, look, what are we wasting our time? We should have put somebody else in that could maybe compete. When actually, Michelle, nobody can compete with Alabama, as we found out last year.
Okay, wait, hold on. Let me ask you this, because A, do you think they feel that way, or is that something we've put on them from the outside? And B, I know it's a 14-point spread. If they were to lose by, say, 3, would they still have an argument? That, hey, maybe we should...
If they lose by 3, yeah. If they play a close competitive game that they're in the 4th quarter, then I think they've succeeded in that mission of look what you've been disrespect. The thing that can't happen is 56-10, which could be on the table. And that doesn't mean that Cincinnati isn't one of the 5 best teams in college football. I mean, Ohio State had 9 first-round draft picks in their 2 deep last year, and they lost to Alabama by 100 in the national title game. Getting blown out in the national championship game or in the playoff setting isn't unique, but we're going to view it differently because Cincinnati is a quote-unquote outsider. So, to me, I don't know what they feel. I'm sure they feel like this is a great opportunity and that they've worked hard and that they're every bit as good as Alabama is. So I don't know if they're thinking, well, we have to do this for every other group of 5 school, especially now that the expansion of the playoff is imminent. But if they go out and lose by 100, then it's just going to be why are we entertaining this discussion anymore? And honestly, if you go back and look at how Cincinnati got in, they got in the perfect storm of amazing things that could have happened for them. Basically, which is every other team in the country sucked this year, and Notre Dame happened to only lose 1 time, which if you played the season out in a simulation 100 times, all this stuff wouldn't come true. Now, the stat that I'll give you, Michelle, is the stat that I'm sure everybody's, been waterboarded by me having to listen to. But Alabama is the most talented team in college football. They are the number one talented team in terms of the star rankings of the initial ratings of the players going in. They've got 14 5-star prospects and 64 star prospects.
Lord.
Only 11 of the 85 players on their team weren't blue chip prospects. If you go down to Cincinnati, they are the 54th most talented team in college football. No 5-star prospects, 7 4-star prospects. One of their best players is an Alabama transfer. So, like, if you look at, like, just the micro dose of, like, what these rosters are made up of, like, why is it even fair to expect that Cincinnati could win? The teams with the best players win in every sport most of the time,
sure.
right? So you've got one team that's got 25 first-round draft picks either playing or on the bench, and you've got another team that's completely outpunched its weight class and blown everybody out at their level, but that's not the same level of football. So, maybe it'll be a David and Goliath thing. Maybe it'll be like a Rudy moment.
Right,
or
that's what we want.
That's what everybody wants. But I don't think that's what's going to happen.
I mean, that's literally what makes sport. Like, you're sitting there telling me all this, right? And I understand all these numbers. I'm like, wow, that just seems very lopsided and, dare I say, almost unfair in how the talent is dispersed. And yet here I sit thinking there's a chance. There is a chance. Well,
here's the thing. Alabama could have played any of the other teams that were on the fringe. Like, if Ohio State would have won that, I'm not sure that they would count because they've got 16 5-stars and 50 4-star prospects. But let's say, like, Clemson, this year's Clemson only lost once, or this year's Oklahoma got in somehow. They would still be 11 or 12-point underdogs in this game. So it's not like it's a Cincinnati issue. It's just they are the team that got in and now have the entire burden of proving whether or not the group of five should be committed moving forward, which I think is going to be interesting to watch. And, like, listen, that's inherently more interesting, though, Michelle. Like, the idea of the feel-good Disney sports movie coming true and the potential of that is going to have people watching.
Right.
I'm just afraid that the second quarter of the movie will be over. So, like, if it's not, then we all win as fans because we get to watch a game that is compelling for that reason. But if not, we're just going to watch Alabama roll over another team for, 60 minutes and then move on to the national title game, which is the reason why, Alabama is what it is.
I'll be honest with you. I'm not going to watch 60 minutes of that if that's in fact where this goes. I'm going to watch about 18 and then I'm going to watch something else.
And the funniest thing about this too is that Alabama is infinitely worse than they were a year ago.
That's what's
like they still might be the best team in college football this year, but last year was one of the best teams of all time. They had 6 first-round draft picks, and they probably have a few more first-rounders that will get drafted this year as a result of just coming back.
Well, that's why you worry. You worry about where they are mentally. I mean, are they the underdog? Can they pull this off?
Yeah, no, I know. I feel terrible for them. Like, honestly, if anybody's been, stripped of the credit that they deserve, it's the Alabama Crimson Tide,
enough
right?
love.
Like, Nick Saban. Was somebody going to give this guy some credit?
Does anyone
soon?
know how good he is? Have we talked about that? Does anyone know?
Yeah.
Seems like such a fun guy, too.
In my opinion, and you're well more rounded in sports than I am.
Nope.
But in my opinion, that is the greatest coaching feat, what he's done there.
Yeah.
In all, maybe Bill Belichick, because the NFL has more parity in it. But then, obviously, he had the greatest player of all time, too. So that helps. But to do this every year, because human nature makes you not want it as bad.
I thought so.
After you done it. And every single, and I'm sure you know the stat, but I want to say it for people who don't. Every single player who has signed with Alabama since the beginning of the Nick Saban era, who has stayed for at least 3 years, has won at least one national title.
I mean, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. It's a heck of a resume moment. Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah. I do feel like, does he get bored? Does he wake up one week and go, don't really care that much this week? It just doesn't seem like it.
He's ruining the sport.
There he goes, the LeBron of
it's like
college football.
When other teams that are supposed to be winning national championships lose to Alabama and aren't upset or like are just able to cope with it because it's like, oh, well, it's Nick Saban, he's a wizard.
That's so
it's
boring.
Like, it's fine. It's just like, how many, like if I put myself on a spot right now, I don't know off the top of my head how many national championships he's won at Alabama. Is it 5?
God, yeah.
Is it 6? Is it like, I don't know the answer. I think it's 5.
It's enough that we all think this is like that we already think this is over. It's that many.
And it's enough where if he adds 2 or 3 more rings, it doesn't make it any more impressive. It's like we've reached the mecca of success in the sport, and now it's kind of just like waiting for him to retire so the rest of the sport can resume being competitive.
Can you step down, please, sir? Well, I mean, by the way, that's just the one game. I like that we prefaced it all. We're like, okay, Nick Saban is this. He's going to win. He's going to win everything. but he's still got to play one of the other two teams. So we've got Michigan and Georgia. Obviously, I think obviously, I say that. I don't think it's obvious. I think it just depends on where you stand. But the Michigan story after the Ohio State game is such a feel-good moment for, quote unquote, the underdogs and Harbaugh and how many years he's been there and how many years he couldn't pull that off. But it's been such a long break between all of that momentum and when we finally get to these games. Can they hold on to that? Does Michigan have that chance?
Yeah, I think that they match up better with Georgia than Cincinnati does with Alabama, just because Michigan's already proven that they can beat a team that talented. Ohio State is on the same plane as Georgia and Alabama when it comes to pure talent. It's those three teams and everybody else in college football. The question that I have is whether or not Michigan can do it more than once. I mean, if you watch college football, bad teams beat good teams all the time. Right. Upsets happen. But they usually happen in the regular season when people aren't getting up for it, or when somebody's sleepwalking, or you're not paying attention. And, that's not what Ohio State paid attention to Michigan. They just got their butts kicked. So, to me, the thing that will be interesting is I think both offenses are going to be anemic because I don't think either offense is very good. And in my opinion, two of the best defensive linemen in college football are playing in this game against quarterbacks who I think are average. And usually at this point, the quarterbacks who are playing on this stage are first-round draft picks. So you got a former walk-on, and you have a Cade McNamara who wasn't forced to make a single throw in the Ohio State game because Michigan just blew them off the ball the entire game. That said, I don't think Michigan can blow Georgia off the ball. So I think it's going to be a good defensive battle. Right. I think it'll be close. I think a 7-point spread in the semifinals is about as good as we're going to get.
Okay.
This season. And I find this to be, I'm covering the Alabama-Cincinnati game, but I find this one to be the more compelling match.
Same. I do too. I feel like this will be the one that, and again, it goes back to everything we just said about Nick Saban and Alabama, because it feels like anything he's in is a foregone conclusion, whereas this one feels like, well, I really just don't know what's going to happen in this one.
But is it just me, or does it just seem like this entire bowl season has been completely flat?
Well, in fairness, when you have wanted ads going out on social media for teams that may or may not be available to play teams that are already in that city, it feels a little weird. As somebody who's covering this, how does the fluidity of all of what we're going through right now, as far as COVID and games and sports, how does that affect you? People,
it makes it really hard to care, if I'm being honest. And I don't mean it from a reporter. I've got to write and talk about it and do my job. But if I were a fan and my team was playing in a middle tier bowl that is just a cash grab for whoever sponsored it, and I wasn't sure if my team was going to get to play, how would you be emotionally invested in the podcasts and the content and the discussions on ESPN and all the things that you usually enjoy consuming as a sports fan when you're not even sure that your favorite player is going to play?
Right.
Or if your team is going to even make the trip. And it's funny because last year we just kind of had to live in that world because that COVID was new.
Right.
It was all fresh in our minds, and it was actually a miracle that they figured out a way to play an entire season a year ago. But Ohio State's defensive line in the national championship game last year was missing because of COVID. And it's that's the national title game. And you need every single player that you can to compete with Alabama. Now, I think Alabama would have beat Ohio State by 100 no matter who they had on the field. But, if somebody is missing the game in a playoff setting and it's a key player, it almost feels like it doesn't count. It's not fair.
I agree.
And it's just you made a comment before we started recording that I thought was interesting, but with these protocols that they have in place in the playoff setting, if a team gets sick from COVID, the other team advances. Right. And it's just you're going to penalize some. Can I tell you a quick story?
Of course. No,
I know that the spot was.
No. I want to hear.
Okay. I moved to Texas a year ago to be with my fiance. I've been here now for a year and a half, and I still don't have any friends because I don't have a social life here yet. And I'm looking for, if you're in Dallas and you need a friend, hit me up. And I didn't do anything because I took COVID seriously last year. I was trying to follow the guidelines. I did everything I could to be cognizant of the threat. And I didn't really leave the house much. And last year, I went to the gas station because my fiance's tire had a hole in it, and I had somebody plug the hole just real quick so she could go to work the next day. And that was my only event out in public for a week. I got COVID. Out of every human being in Texas that could have gotten COVID a year ago, I'm the idiot that got it. And it's just and I think to myself, you can be prudent.
Absolutely.
You can get the vaccine. You can do everything that you can do. But penalizing somebody for getting it when it's complete random circumstance is insanity to me. So, like, to me, if they were, and let's just pray to God as we're recording this, nothing happens with either of the playoff teams. I feel bad for the kids that don't get to play in the regular bowls. I can't imagine what would happen if this happened in the playoff. If somebody advances because of COVID or wins a national championship because of COVID, it makes me feel like, why did we do this all year? Like, what was the point of all of this, you know? And maybe that's just a really down way of looking at it, but it's just like, these kids aren't being paid by the universities. I know they've got NIL. They spent a tremendous amount of time their entire lives building up to this moment. Right. And it's like, I felt like awful for the defensive lineman on Ohio State's team last year that couldn't play in the national championship game because they happened to be at the wrong place at the wrong time.
That's my thing. So, like, what's the subconscious message we're trying to put attached to COVID? Like, when you punish, like literally punish someone for catching it, that's a weird shame. Like, you're putting a shame on it that does not belong. Like you said, I have a friend, same way. I mean, could not be more careful. Double mask everywhere. She's boosted, this, that. Does everything you're supposed to do. Went and got her wisdom teeth pulled. COVID. It's the only place she could have possibly been exposed. And it's like, okay. And by the way, it seems, and not to be like crazy about it, but every day it just seems like more and more people are getting it, that maybe this is just the common way life is now. You can't be punished for it. Now, I understand that it's impossible to sort of think that quickly on your feet when you're dealing with the logistics of what it takes to put on a college playoff. Yeah. But again, we've had almost 2 years. Like, it's weird to me across the landscape of all sports that there's not a real sort of consensus on how we deal with any of this. But
every single time something happens as a result of COVID, it's like, was there no contingency plan? And it's like, and I know that part of the reason why they can't reschedule the games is because stadiums are being used and whatever. Dude, 90% of the money that they make is from television rights deals anyway. Go play at a high school. Yeah. Like, I don't care. Just play
Actually, that'd be kind of cool looking.
It would be great.
Yeah.
Wouldn't
It'd be kind of awesome. I would actually like it.
Or are they just going to have some team advance into the national championship game because they happen to not be exposed to COVID?
Yeah, and P.S., they're exposed. It may just not be as many, which is also garbage, because that's just stupid too. Now you're just playing a weird numbers game. But okay, so I take it you're assuming in Alabama, Georgia? I take that.
That's my assumption. If you don't know this about me, I am a recruiting talent snob.
Yeah, a snob. Yeah.
If you go look at the two most talented teams in college football from top to bottom, it's Alabama and Georgia. So, like, is it going to happen that way? You mean the two teams with the most good players are going to play for the championship? It's like so uninteresting, but also so telling at the same time. Yeah. Because I know everybody wants sports to just be like
Hollywood.
We have no idea who's going to win, or like in the NFL too. It's just like every playoff game, every team in the NFL is good, and all the spreads are 3 or 4 points, and you don't know what's going to happen. College football is such a different animal. I mean, you've got one team. I remember when I was covering Ohio State, Lane Kiffin said this, and I'll never forget it. They were asking him about the game heading into the game when he was at FAU. And they're like, are you excited to go into Ohio Stadium and play against Ohio State? And he goes, oh, you mean like playing the game against a team that would be like in recess if they got the first 85 picks? Like, and he basically just said that like the other team had like worst player was better than their best player. And like the funny thing is that the backups on Alabama's roster that won't see the field would start at Cincinnati if they were on the other team. Right. And like, that's the same thing that happened. I mean, there were maybe 4 or 5 players on Michigan's roster that would have started at Ohio State if you were to combine the rosters, and they beat the crap out of them. So like, you never know. It's a weird sport, but in the moment where Saban is on the biggest stage, in the moment where Kirby Smart's entire livelihood's at stake, like, you know, I think it's very easy to say, well, both of these teams are multiple score favorites. They're probably going to win the games outright. I don't know if they're going to cover, but they're probably going to win.
It's how I know I'm back into being a fan of things. Because despite all of that, I'm sitting here going, oh, man, I really hope it. Like, I genuinely, it's the same way I am when I try to play the lotto. Like, there's a really good shot. There's a chance that this happens. It makes me feel good, but I don't feel like... So
I did play the lotto on Saturday. It's funny you mentioned it. And I was buying property in the Pacific Palisades.
Okay, then.
In my head.
Dude, every time I've got a jet on its way to the UK for my bread and breakfast. I'm like,
I really like the stars on the Rolls Royce Wraiths.
You don't get one
ceiling.
without it.
Like,
no, yeah.
No. And I was thinking like what kind of colorway I'd want.
It's crazy. Car, but, by the way, don't even think about it because I'm I'm already way ahead of you on this lottery thing, and I've been playing for way too long for you to come in and just swoop in and win it from me. So,
well, you're not paying to win the lottery. You're paying to fantasize for a few
how dare
hours.
you? I'm playing to win. Okay. How dare you say that to me?
If you took the $2 that you spent on every lottery ticket in your entire life and put it into the S&P 500, how much do you think it'd be
I'm sorry. Did we just start a podcast with Bob Beadle? Is that Bob Beadle over there? that I'm looking at? Shut up, Dad.
Hey, listen. I gamble more than you'll ever understand. So it's you don't have to tell me about life's short. Entertain yourself. Buy one every week, and then maybe you'll win one.
All right, welcome back. We're talking all things college playoffs and the gambling aspect. Obviously, we've talked about the favorites, and I feel like that's fine. That's your standard betting. But I've got people around me, my boyfriend most importantly, they love sports gambling. And I always just am sitting there like an idiot on a couch going, I don't understand it. What are some fun prop bets that I could actually maybe impress some people with and or win some cash?
Well, if you're a lottery player, then you should play props because it's amazing. My best friend in the entire world last night or Monday Night Football said he was getting 2-for-1 odds on Ian Book not throwing a pick, and he put $200
oh,
on
wow.
it. And he wanted to watch the game through the lens of, let's just hope that Ian Book doesn't throw a pick in the second play of the game. He threw a pick six.
Yeah, that was a tough one.
His money exploded. So you can bet props if you don't want to just bet the spread. And, usually the juice on these, which is I don't know how much, but you have to pay more money to win less when it comes to these. But for instance, I think Desmond Ritter's over 260.5 passing yards in this game is a little high.
Okay.
He was averaging 245 yards passing a game, and he's playing against Alabama.
Right.
So I don't know if he's going to throw more or what, but I have a hard time believing that Cincinnati's going to be sustaining long drives. I think that it's possible that unless you view it as a way of Alabama's going to get out to a big lead early, and then all Cincinnati's going to do for the rest of the game is throw it. But I would hit the under on that. So that's the type of things that I would also, just so everybody knows who's listening to this, if I walk out the door of my house, I've got to look both ways so that my bookie's not waiting there with a baseball bat. I've had a really bad year. So,
Jesus.
I just want to be honest with you. Don't go, mortgage your.
But how many guys that do this are honest with us? Because I feel like everyone seems to be winning all the time, but that's not.
Oh, everybody's always winning all the time.
It's not possible.
Everybody's always, yeah. Do people understand how freaking hard it is?
Yeah, I know.
It is so hard. And I've had good years. I've had bad years. This year wasn't a very good year.
Ruh-roh.
Wasn't terrible, but I also am at the point where I can't watch a game unless I've got something
Okay, so that's the yes.
which is bad. This is this is the person that you're talking to right now. And I think the overall volume of how much I play is the problem. So if you're disciplined and it's the same thing at a blackjack table. The more hands you play, the more likely you're going to lose. Between the juice and the amount of games that NFL and college and all the stuff that's happening at once, it's hard to win money. But I just want to I'm honest. I don't want to come out here and be like, I'm the gambling expert.
That's what they do.
I know everything about it. And I've never lost before. It's I would love to see all these quote unquote gambling experts balance sheets. Because I bet you it's not
I
pretty.
to see a lot of things when it comes to all of it. Yeah, it's just simple math. Because what is the success rate of a person who gambles? Is it 60?
It's 68%.
Okay, there you go. So in college, that's not even passing, but in betting, that's good. So that's the thing people need to understand.
68% is really hard.
Yeah, of course it is. That's why when I sit here and I'm like, is this person being honest with me? I'm glad you're being honest with me because I'm still going to do everything you say. So I got Ritter. I got the Ritter under.
Well, I'm going to ride with you because I'm not going to let you. I also think that Bryce Young's passing touchdowns at 3.5. I would also take the under on this.
Okay.
Which I think is it might sound crazy to you because I think Alabama's going to cover the 14. But I do think that the Crimson Tide's athletic advantage is really good when it comes to running the ball because it's running. The thing about talent in college football is not just the first round draft picks and the receivers making cool catches that you see on SportsCenter. It's those big offensive linemen and defensive linemen who are just physically better than their opponents. And then when they get tired and Cincinnati's defensive linemen get tired, Alabama can bring 3 more first round draft picks onto the field that haven't sweat yet,
daunting.
who are fresh and ready. It's depth. It wears you down. I think Alabama, 4 touchdowns in college is a lot of touchdowns. Right. And you could be wrong in the first half in this because we've seen LSU in the Oklahoma game a few years ago where it was like 50-0 at halftime. But to me, I think that he'll get 3 probably. Okay. And there'll be 3 other rushing touchdowns, maybe even a defensive touchdown. But I like the under there. Expecting somebody to throw 4 touchdown passes in a playoff game is hard, even if it's and also maybe it's the reverse of the Ritter discussion. But if Alabama gets up early, which I think they might, then he might not be throwing it to the end zone as much.
Okay, I'm going to put my savings on these 2. That seems like wise.
And then if you lose, then you'll just take the lottery money and then backfill.
I can't lose.
It's called contingency
Right, I am
plans.
so backed up on all of this. Okay, I've got this. I'm because I just want to sound like I know what I'm talking about. Just one weekend in my life, and I feel like this. I mean, they're going to be like, "What are you doing?" But I'm going to be like, it's guaranteed, guys. Listen,
the joke's on you, though, because you're listening to somebody who doesn't know what
they
they're
don't
talking
know
about.
that, Ari. Okay? They don't know that. They're just going to be like, wow, she's smart.
Do you think, like, moving forward in my journalism career that I should not be honest and just pretend like I'm, like, perfect
some people get huge TV shows out of that. So think about it. Okay, we're going to take a quick break because I know we're playing a game I know nothing about, you know nothing about, which can only make for an amazing game. Be right back. We've got a third person to our little party here. Paige is here. Because we are playing a game that's all on you. So we're going to sit back and let you take this thing.
Yes, I was in a silly, goofy mood yesterday, trying to think of something to do for this. And I love bowl games. You guys talked a little bit about how stuff's being canceled, etc. But I think the best part of bowl games are the sponsors, of which there are many, and it's sort of an impressive depth. So the way we're going to play this game is it's just the same format as F, Marry, Kill.
Ooh, okay.
But we're going to look at past, present, future bowl game sponsors.
Wow. All right.
Okay. So I'm going to give you 3, and you tell me which is the past, present, and current, past, present, and future, rather, sponsors. Okay. So we'll alternate between you 2. Would we like to place a friendly bet?
Well, how do we know if it's future?
Future would be like it's not real.
I'm like, do you know something we don't know?
Future or fake?
I was going to say F, Marry, Kill. I got the Cheez-It Bowl. I got excited.
Right? I was like, well, mayo. I'm on the mayo. So let's do this. Okay, perfect.
Yeah, I'm going to be terrible at this because it's funny. I watch these games and I'll watch something. I'll go, what the hell is, and I'll like Google.
Every day.
There was one tailgating one that was like supposed to help you find a tailgate. I can't even remember what it was, and I Googled it, and I said, aren't these free and everywhere around you near the stadium? Like, I don't need somebody to hook me up with a tailgate. But maybe they're smarter than me, and they have a business that's going to IPO in a month.
That's the thing.
They'll be
I'm Googling crap all the time.
Okay, let's do it.
So it's past, present, future being a fake one. So I'm going to try to fake you guys out. Okay, let's start with Ari. Okay, Ari. Okay. Past, present, future. Duke's mayonnaise, Diamond Walnut, Frank's Red Hot.
Okay, Duke's is present. And I know that because my co-host, Andy Staples, hates mayonnaise. And we made a bet and he lost and I made him take a big spoonful of mayonnaise. And
I'm so glad I've seen that.
And Duke's mayonnaise is like, I'm their favorite person. They sent me a care package, everything. I love mayonnaise
jealous.
too.
Yeah, we're team mayonnaise on this show. Keep going.
I think past was the almond one, right?
Diamond almond?
Walnut.
Oh, walnut. Diamond
almond,
walnut.
Okay.
Walnut. Mm-hmm.
And then future is Frank's Red.
Correct. Ding,
really?
Ding, ding.
Oh, he's already ahead. Okay.
All
Oh,
right.
I'm going to suck at this.
She wanted to bet on this, Michelle, so you're lucky
I know.
we didn't
This is
acknowledge
not,
that because you were going to have to
I feel like
me.
I would have reversed those second. Okay.
Okay, Michelle. Crypto.com.
Okay.
Wasabi.
Ooh.
Beef O'Brady's.
Okay.
Past, present, future.
I feel like crypto's, what the heck? Like just wasabi? Just wasabi.
Wasabi technology.
Okay, I'm like, what? Like
I was going to say like the Asian spice.
Yeah, like the cool green
is
stuff.
that even an Asian spice?
I love wasabi.
Yeah, okay.
Oh God, this changes everything. Okay, crypto I feel like is a trick question. Or it's like a trick in there. So I'm going to say crypto's future. Oh crap. Beef is past, wasabi's present.
Wow, nailed it.
Shut your mouth.
Nailed
Oh
it.
my
You
God.
Yeah, I actually knew that one.
Woo!
Because I've never been to a Beef O'Brady's, but I remember it was a Beef O'Brady bowl, and I was like, that sounds awesome.
That feels kind of like I feel like I remember that. But the wasabi one got me. Okay.
Yes, Wasabi Technologies. It's the Wasabi's Technology Fenway Bowl.
Good God Almighty! This is just
right,
that
ridiculous.
Was a tough trick because Crypto.com just just took the Staples
That's
Center.
why I was like, this is a sports trick, isn't it? I know what you're trying to do.
That's right, Ari.
Fair enough.
Okay. All right, Ari.
Okay.
Tail Greeter, Staples, Crucial.com.
Oh my God.
Okay, so tail greeter is what I was talking
That's
about.
the thing.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's current.
Correct.
Go Google tailgreeter.com after this. And this is why they sponsor bowls, by the way, because now everybody listening to this is going to go, they hook you up with the ideal tailgate. Whereas when I was in college,
all right, they're not paying us, Ari. They're not.
Okay. Hey, listen.
You never know.
I got to get my bag,
you never
too.
know.
Okay. I'm sorry. What were the other two again?
Tail Greeter, Crucial.com, Staples.
Okay. Crucial.com is past. And Staples is future.
Wow.
I was going to say that's, oh, damn it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But also, I think I knew that because I knew the mind games you were playing. So I took that into account when I was discussing.
Okay.
Yeah, your mind games suck,
all right,
Paige.
Michelle.
Okay, here we go.
We got to go faster.
Okay,
go
sorry.
faster. I have 2 minutes.
I'll just spit it out.
Michelle.
Yep.
Peloton, Paraton, Petrosun.
Oh my God. Peloton, Paratron, and Petrosun?
Petrosun, Peloton, Paraton.
I literally don't know. I feel like the only one that's not one is Peloton, and it's the only brand I've ever heard of. So Peloton's future, Petrosun is past, and this Para thing is present.
Wow.
Shut your mouth.
Right.
Nailed it.
Okay, I've never guessed anything right about it. Well, it is hard.
Okay.
That was literally 3 things what? I've heard of one.
I spent a lot of time in this matrix of
That was
bowl
the
sponsors.
hardest one that we've done
Thanks
so
a lot,
far.
Paige. All right.
Okay, all right.
One of us has to lose.
Safeway.
I feel like this is that overtime game between Illinois and Penn State
winner
right
takes
now.
all. Okay.
Safeway, Quick Lane, Papa John's.
Oh, okay.
Quick Lane is current. Papa John's is past because the Papa John's guy said something stupid. And the third one, what was the third one?
Safeway.
Safeway's future.
Correct.
Really?
All right. These need to be harder, guys. I thought this would be
Well,
hard.
don't worry. Okay.
Okay, Michelle.
Well, the thing is, if you know one, then you can guess your way out.
Well, hopefully.
fair.
But
Yeah.
It's not going to run.
Okay, Michelle. Nintendo, PlayStation, Sega.
Oh, that's it. Okay. Nintendo, PlayStation. Okay, PlayStation seems still happening. So PlayStation present. Ooh, the other two are okay. Sega past, Nintendo future.
Well done.
Shut your damn mouth.
That was good.
The thing about it too is that you can't get a PS5
Anywhere.
anywhere. Like you can't walk into a store
At all.
and they're that's the bowl gift for the Fiesta Bowl.
That's
this
a heck
year
of a
to all the
gift, man.
teams.
Because you can turn around and sell that for 5 times what it's worth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
all
opened
right.
mine and played it once and then never sold it. And I hated myself
well, that's
for it.
stupid.
Okay.
That's on you.
All right, StubHub. StubHub, Ticket City, Ticket Smarter.
Oh my.
Oh wow, this
that
one's
one is
hard.
hard. Maybe this is the one.
I've never even heard of those other ones.
All right, are you typing on your computer? Don't you dare.
No. Come on. I've already no way. I don't know this. I think StubHub is passed. What are the other two?
Ticket what?
Ticket Smarter, Ticket City.
Ticket City, Ticket Smarter.
I don't even know if
Quicker.
Those two. Okay. Ticket City is future and Ticket Smarter is present.
Yeah!
Yes.
Paige, you got me. I have no idea.
Fine, I have to get this one right.
Did I get all 3 wrong?
You got all 3 wrong. Correct.
Oh, that's what I like to hear.
You got all 3 wrong. Correct.
That's what I like to hear. I can't win off that though, right? Because he went first. I have to get this.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Well, we got
one out of 3.
We got like 2 more each.
Okay.
Ticket City was a past sponsor, I guess. This is what you were talking about, where like sponsors sort of come in and then what are they?
Yeah,
so
are you?
Ticket City was a past one. Ticket Smarter is actually a current bowl game sponsor.
Okay.
Who's also not paying us. We're not going to talk about them.
Yeah.
Okay, Michelle. Bitcoin, VRBO, Pugs.
Pugs?
Yeah.
God, I wish. Pugs is future, hopefully, for the rest of our lives. VRBO and Bitcoin. I'm going to say Bitcoin seems more present and VRBO seems more past.
Wrong.
Damn it.
Bitcoin was a past bowl sponsor.
All the way around.
It was? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I thought Bitcoin, I would have said future for Bitcoin.
Right? They were the first, I guess. Now we have like 700.
VRBO, current sponsor.
Damn it.
So is she 0 for 3 too?
She got 2
No,
wrong.
Pugs is future.
Oh, so you're winning.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I did give her a little
Technically,
bit
I'm
of a
winning
layup
and
there.
probably I will win.
Okay.
clearly.
So sorry, two more each now. Final round, and we'll be done.
Okay.
Ari, Gasparilla Bowl.
Oh my,
San
yes.
Francisco Bowl. Arizona Bowl.
Arizona Bowl is like canceled right now, so I don't know
You gotta
how.
count that?
Like is that present? Like, are you cheating me right now?
Maybe.
Such a trick question.
What was the? I'm so sorry. I have the mind of a
Gasparilla,
a fly.
San Francisco, Arizona.
Gasparilla.
I think Gasparilla is past. Arizona Bowl is current, even though it got canceled. And then the third thing was what
San
again?
Francisco.
San
San Francisco is the future.
You got them wrong, but I'm going to give you 2 points because I did trick you. So the Arizona Bowl is canceled, but it's going to be in the future. So that's not really fair. But I'll give you only -2.
You are
there.
the worst.
The Gasparilla Bowl is the present
Arizona
bowl.
would have. Okay, are you keeping score here? Because
Yes,
I
I
actually
am.
the way Michelle was celebrating last time kind of got the competitive juices flowing over here. So
I got
bad.
you.
I'm not even going to make a facial expression right now when you're
Poker
going.
face time.
Poker face.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, Michelle. AutoZone, Continental, Lexus.
Continental Bowl, Lexus Bowl. Okay, AutoZone sounds
Continental
like for real.
Tire.
AutoZone past. Lexus present. Continental future? No, it doesn't sound right.
Final answer?
Yeah.
Wrong. AutoZone is a present. Continental Tire is a past. Lexus does not exist. But it is the December
stupid.
to remember.
No, it's not.
So if I'm not mistaken here, I'm leading. then?
Yeah, because I have 4 wrong now. No, I don't know how we're doing this.
We might have to take a quick 30-second.
No, we're gonna edit it so that we know.
Do some math.
No, I think I've gotten more wrong than he has. I know that now, especially with that
Okay.
threefer right there that I just nailed.
Last one.
Okay, hold on. Let me do quick math here. So
And she accused me of typing in the middle.
Well,
of it too,
I know I
which
did.
was,
Well,
like,
I
so
saw you. I
insulting.
saw your shoulders went up a little bit.
My
and I
girlfriend
was like,
my fiance was asking me if I was going to be on time to something. I just was like writing yes.
Like no.
Okay.
No.
So let's see. Ari got 3, 5 wrong. So you have 5
I knew a
wrong.
coffee
And
plug
Michelle.
committed
Oh my God, you guys
something.
are tied.
And here he is.
Oh wait, no, that's not right.
Paige, what are you doing? How about this?
Ari
Winner
has one
takes all.
more wrong than Michelle.
Oh, he does? Okay, never mind. Then we should
Yeah,
probably stick
okay,
to
so
that.
this
is-
This is it.
Okay,
this
let's
is
go.
it.
Okay. All right. Back in. Editors, we are back in.
Back in queue.
Okay. For all the marbles, so Ari has one more wrong than Michelle, if my math is
Okay.
correct.
Oh God,
which
this is it.
It might
Okay.
not be. So Ari, tangerine, peach, northwest apple.
Okay.
Okay, peach is clearly current.
Forever.
Tangerine is past, and that's my final answer.
Correct.
All 3 are correct.
Oh
right?
God. Okay. So I have to get.
All right, Michelle.
So you can't. You have to make. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Michelle,
All right. Go.
Blockbuster, Netflix, Tony the Tiger.
Okay. I know Tony Tiger is one, maybe was. I'm trying to read faces. Past Tony Tiger, Netflix, future. What was the other one?
Blockbuster.
Blockbuster's not. Correct.
Oh God, no! Blockbuster's not current. Blockbuster's past. Tony the Tiger's present. Netflix is future.
I can't believe I helped
God.
you. That would have been hilarious.
Yeah, because as soon as you said
Correct.
Blockbuster, I was like,
Correct.
that can't be right. Yes. Wait, so I win.
Yeah, Tony the Tiger is a present bowl game sponsor.
Which
We love
is
that for him.
I didn't even know
Awesome,
that.
and I want all the merch from that one and the Mayo one, and then I'm good.
It feels good that I didn't show you up on your own show. So
Shut
at
up,
least,
Ari.
you know, maybe that.
Just shut up.
Maybe that. What I was saying like I was being a good
Yeah,
sport.
now you're gonna pretend like you meant to lose, and I know how this
No,
goes.
no. I'm saying no. I tried super hard to win and I lost, and I'm saying I'm happy. At least there's one good thing, and then maybe I'll be a recurring.
Well, I've got
guest
like
as a result.
75 things I have to go look up now, starting with Ticket Smarter. So we got that. We got that
Yeah.
big day ahead of us. All right, tell everyone
Yeah.
again. Although I don't know if you can, where they can find you.
Okay, I have my own podcast with Mitch Light called Stars Matter and the Andy Staple feed. go listen to that. I am a co-host on the Andy Staples Show with Andy Staples, who levitates above the rest of us 3 times a week or 2 times a week, depending on what time of the season. Ohio State podcast on the Athletic Network called 4 to 6 with A&B with Bill Landis. The Big Ten football show, the Big Football Show, and Best on the Board with Michael Belly and Dan Santamarita.
5, ladies and gentlemen.
And I almost forgot one, so
see, you might need to drop one here and just take a little mental break. Ari Wasserman, thank you so much. I know this is a busy time of year for you. I'm hoping that some of these upsets actually happen, and it'll make for a much more interesting week for all of us. Thanks again. And yeah, we are going to have you back, with more games.
Oh,
more, just games,
Yeah,
though.
You're stuck with us.
All games. Yeah, you're stuck with us. And
yeah, I'll come back for the all games.
I can't
wait. If you want to do a fast food one, I'm guaranteed to win that.
Okay, no, that's not a bad idea. Oh, and this is What I Miss. All those things, subscribe, review, all that. We've got a New Year's Eve special coming up with my friend Adam Ray. I'm sure it will be very serious with no laughs. So hopefully you'll tune in for that one as well. Thanks, guys.